Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College welcomes all the 12th standard computer science students. Today let us discuss about the generic microprocessor from Unit 1 Introduction to 8085 microprocessor. This is the block diagram of generic microprocessor. So what is exactly a generic microprocessor? Generic microprocessor actually gives us an idea. It is just the simple architecture of your microprocessor, showing only the essential blocks that are required. Generic microprocessor with internal blocks is shown here. It is connected in a logical structure to perform arithmetic and logical operation with the address and the data bus. The main parts, or we can say the main blocks of your generic microprocessor includes the ALU, the registers, timing and control unit, instruction decoder, and the types of buses. These are the main important blocks of your generic microprocessor. So let us learn the function of each and every, starting with the ALU. So when we are going to draw the diagram of generic microprocessor, firstly we are going to draw the ALU. Inside the ALU, first we have the status register, complementer and shifter, and adder. Status register, it is flag register which is 8-bit. Complementer is used to complement the number and shifter is used to shift 1-bit data left or right. Adder is used for addition and subtraction through 2's complement method. So you can see here all this will be connected with the internal bus. Before that, let us discuss about temporary register and accumulator. Here you can see the temporary register and accumulator is connected to the adder which is present inside the ALU. Why it is connected to the adder? To perform an operation, arithmetic and logical operation. Now you can see here the accumulator where one of the number is stored compulsory, and there are temporary register which is used for storing the data temporarily. So it is one way connected to the accumulator and the temporary register, the ALU and the temporary register and accumulator. All this will be connected to the internal bus, because we know in order to transfer the data from one end to another end we require the buses, right? So here the ALU, that is a status register, complementer and a temporary register accumulator, all will be connected to the internal bus in for storing the data, for transferring the data from one end to the other side and to store the data. Next, let us discuss about the function of ALU. This unit performs arithmetic and logical operation. This unit also performs rotate operation. The operation in this unit affects the status register. The results from the ALU are placed in accumulator. So firstly, we'll draw the ALU. Inside the ALU, we have 3 blocks. Outside the ALU, we have 2 blocks. And one will be the internal bus, temporary register and accumulator. Next, let us learn about the several registers that has been connected and how it works in our generic microprocessor. First is the accumulator. It is an 8-bit register which is used to store 8-bit data in arithmetic and logical operation. The result is stored in accumulator and it is performed. The operation is also performed in accumulator. Next we have the status register which is inside the ALU. Status register is also called as flags, which consist of flip-flops that are set or reset according to the data conditions in the accumulator. So our status register is nothing but the flag register. Now let us discuss about one more two register, H and L, and again this will be connected to the internal bus. You can see it is connected to the internal bus. Now what are data and address register? Here L combination, it is a 16-bit register. Individually it is a 8-bit register. This is not our HL register that we have learned in the concept. L will be the lower order register and H will be the higher order register, which is used to store 8-bit data. So whenever I want to store 8-bit data, L register is used, and whenever 16-bit data address is being used, at that time H will be used. So let us discuss about it. It is connected to the internal bus. You can hear both the internal bus it will be connected. So this is the data slash address register. The data slash address register is a 2 8-bit register that can be used separately or as combined pair. They are labeled as H and L. Data is stored in this register. When used in pair, 16-bit address can also be stored. So we can use individually also the register. We can pair also the register. Next comes program counter and stack pointer. You can see all the registers that we are going to learn all will be connected to your internal bus. That is program counter and stack pointer. Let us discuss about function. Program counter. It is a 16-bit register containing the address of the next executable instruction. As we said, it is just like a guide which helps the microprocessor to execute the program in a sequence way. It can be incremented or reset by control functions. So we can automatically increment the program counter after the execution of one instruction, and it is reset by the control instruction. Reset means the program counter will become 000. This we have learned in reset in pin. When in reset and pin configuration, when reset in is applied, what will happen? The program counter is reset. It becomes 0000. We have learned that in the pin configuration. Next is the stack pointer. It is a 16-bit register consisting of address of memory location called stack. Stack is a read-write memory used for temporary storage. It is a example to remember. It is a bookmark register. We have discussed the function of the stack pointer in detail in our interrupt concept. What will happen to the microprocessor when it is interrupted? That concept we have elaborated in detail about the function of the stack pointer. Next comes the instruction register. Again, it will be connected to the internal bus. So you can see here, students, all the temporary register, accumulator, data, and address register, stack pointer, program counter, instruction register, all will be connected to the internal bus. Instruction register. Already we have discussed about instruction register. It is an 8-bit register. The first byte of the instruction, that is opcode, is stored in the instruction register. So when we write a program in microprocessor, the entire program is converted into a code, and that code is fed inside the kit. So when a code goes in as an input, first it goes to the instruction register, where the instruction register will identify what is the type of instruction. So let us. It is an 8-bit register. The first byte of the instruction, that is opcode, is stored in instruction register. So by this we complete all the concept of registers. So here we started with the ALU, the main unit, then temporary register, accumulator, data slash address register, program counter, stack pointer, and the instruction register. So the temporary register, accumulator, ALU, data register, program counter, stack pointer, as well as instruction register, all will be connected to the internal bus to transfer the data from one block to another. Next, let us discuss about the next unit, that is the instruction decoder. This also we have discussed, student. The output, once instruction register converts the opcode into the instruction, it is given to the instruction decoder. So you can see the output of the instruction register is given to the instruction decoder. So what is the function of the instruction decoder? This interprets the contents of the instruction register and determines the exact steps to be followed in executing the entire instruction. So instruction decoder has two functions. It interprets what is the type of instruction, and to execute the instruction, what are the exact steps followed, and that information is given to the timing and the control section. That is why we say the output of the instruction decoder is gated to the timing and the control unit. Next, let us discuss about bus buffer and latches. One is for the address and the other is for the data. Latch is a flip-flop which is used to store 1-bit information. The information is stored into latch by enabling the buffer. So let us discuss about buffer. Buffer, we can say, students, it is a mixed signal component. Its function is to just hold the memory, but also to increase the, which we can say it is simply to hold the data, and it has to increase the strength. And latch, we can say, it is enabled, it follows the input and throws it out the output, but when it is disabled, whatever was the previous thing, it will be coming at the output. Regarding latch, we have learned in ALE in detail. If in simple words, if I say to remember, a latch is nothing, just like your tape. When you on the tape, the water flows. When you off the tape, the water inside the tape is held. But latch will be just like a water purifier, which is an additional connector to the tape along with another tape. So what will happen here, when the tap is on, the water goes to the water purifier, it enhances it, it purifies it, and then it gives the output. It is just like that. So we need not have to learn, write more about it. Just you are going to write these 2 points. Latch is a flip-flop which is used to store 1 bit of information. Information is stored into latch by enabling the buffer. So you can see here the ALU is also connected to the address bus A0 to A15, that is your buses and your latches. You can see here latch is a flip-flop which is used to store 1 bit of information. Information is stored into latch by enabling the buffer. Next, you can see here timing and control unit. So the output of the instruction decoder is gated to the timing and the control unit. Here we have the clock X1 and X2, which is connected to the crystal of 6 megahertz, and it is also connected to the timing and the control unit. The input is given with help of the crystal. We have here the interrupt control, which is used for providing interrupts. Plus 5 volt ground and power supply, which is used for providing power supply for the operation that is going to take place. In simple words, my IC is operated with the help of the power supply. So these are the additional things. So first let us discuss about timing and control unit. Again, the address, that is bus, buffer and latches, will be connected to your timing and control unit, and timing and control unit will be connected to the internal bus again. Timing and control unit. The section receives the signal from the instruction decoder to determine the nature of the instruction to be executed. Timing and control unit are sent to all parts of the microprocessor to perform any operation. So timing and control unit plays a very important role in our microprocessor. Next, let us discuss about address bus and data bus. Already we have elaborated regarding this. It is a 16-bit and it is 8-bit data bus. They are closely linked with the bus, buffer and latches, and here they play a very important role to transfer the data from one device to another device. Address bus is a group of 16 lines generally identified as A0 to A15. It is unidirectional, that is the bits flow in one direction between the microprocessing unit to the peripherals. Data bus is a group of 8 lines used to flow data, used for data flow. Sorry, it is bidirectional bus, that is data flows in both the direction. So let's discuss some more points present in the timing and the control unit. The signals, we have the read signal, write signal, which plays a very important role. We have discussed regarding this in the pin configuration. We have the reset signal, which is used to reset the microprocessor. Okay, so by this we complete the entire concept of generic microprocessor. So when we are going to draw the diagram, firstly we are going to draw the ALU structure. Inside the ALU we have 5 blocks. Outside the ALU we have 2 blocks. Then keep in mind, with that we have below that 5 blocks. One will be data and address register, program counter, stack pointer, instruction register and instruction decoder. All this four, the first four, HL, program counter, stack pointer and instruction register will be connected to the internal bus, and the output of the instruction register will be connected to the instruction decoder. The output of the instruction decoder will be connected to the timing and control unit. The bus buffer and latches in the 16-bit address and data bus will be connected to the internal bus. Then we have the timing and the control unit. The timing and the control unit will be providing the necessary signals for the operation. You can see here the signals has been provided by the timing and the control unit. By this, we complete the concept of generic microprocessor. Thank you.